Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberonimo!
Clobberonimo. Hey, my friends. Long time no talk to. Well, over about an hour and 20 minutes no talk to anyway. Good to see you, buddies. Thank you all for being here again for our big second part of our double feature of the night. Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk. Yes, indeed. Always great to have you here, folks. Always great to see you, my dear friends and buddies. What a time, what a night it has been. I cannot thank the great J-Man enough for hanging out with me. This was so much fun, J-Man, doing this show with you, buddy. I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to review this comic for a long time. The only sad part is it's over. I was looking forward to it so much, and I had so much fun doing it. Now I almost want to just do it again for the hell of it. I mean, I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I sure had a great time, and that is all due to my good buddy J-Man. Thank you, buddy. It was great fun. Really appreciate it. And so anyone else who turned up or who may see it later on downloads or whatever, I want to thank you all. And anyone else lurking, I want to thank you all as well. Oh, thank yes, I love that Aparo Batman avatar as well. It's greatness. Thank you, JD. So yeah, let's say some hellos, and then I'll do show note. Got nothing really special tonight other than just special to hang out with you guys. But I mean, for me it's special, but for you guys, I hope you're okay with it as well. Of course, the great Eric K. Bronze Richard Extraordinaire. Well, gets a shout out whether he's here or not. I can't see the chat, mind you, everyone. So I hope he's here, but I'm not sure. But good to see you there, buddy. I think he's here. Welcome to the great Eric K. Of course, the great Vindicator Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. Thank you so much for all you do, buddy. Good to see you. And of course, the extraordinarily great D-Bod Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Good to see you there, buddy. If you're in fact there, because I'm saying that on faith. Even if you're not, you get the shout out. But I can't see the whole chat yet. There he is. He is there. So I say that blindly sometimes, folks, because I've got the chat wound way back, and I'm hitting, I'm off not seeing it. But now I've run the chat backwards. I want to say again, there's the great J-Man is here again, buddy. Thank you for that fantastic time. I had a great time tonight. It was so much fun reviewing that comic. We should review more Bob Haney comics in the future, folks. Bob Zany Haney. continue to visit the wacky world of Bob Haney. In fact, I may just call it that. I may do like a special feature once a month, the wacky world of Bob Haney. The Comic Relief Crusader. Hello there, dude. Good to see you. I hope you were well. Phantom Outsider, buddy. What's up, Fanty? Phantom says saw Clobby's earlier stream. Some of it. Did Clobby mention that Sergeant Rock writer co-creator Robert Kanigher in Sergeant Rock 316, whatever issues in the letters page he announced Rock and Easy Company did not live. Oh, I did not mention that. No, I didn't. But I did not mention that, Phantom Outsider, because it's been forever since I've read any of those. If you had been here and had mentioned it, I definitely would have pointed it out. But that's another one of the things about Bob Haney. He didn't care. But it is a good point, though. Thank you, Fanty. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at some of that stuff for the second episode. The rest of my hellos there. Guagnar, good to see you again, buddy. Decepticon. What's up, Sean? Good to see you again, buddy. Thanks for being here earlier, and thanks for being here tonight. And it's good to see you, man. Thank you so much. JD Lewis again. Hey. Let's see here. I think I got everybody, but I have the chat way backed up there. So, hey, hello again, Stunt Brat. Love, good to see you. Yes, I decided to do a double feature, 2 streams, because our good buddy J-Man, of course, who I love to review comics with, he's obviously has a time factor involved where he can't be up all that late and stuff. Man gets up early in the morning. And so I thought it would be fun to set it at a time that, where he could stay, as long as he needed to get the review done. And I just thought, so sometimes when we do these reviews, we make a special time slot for him for that, because he is special and worth it. It's worth it to get to hang out with him for these reviews. And nights like that, if it's, I do a double feature. Like this is just a basic tonight. Right now, I'm just going to do a basic, recap and just talk about pretty much anything. Hanging out with you all, as long as it's comics related, because this is Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. Kal-El, buddy. Good to see you there, bro, again. Thank you for popping in. And Mark Lurseth, hello there, my friend. Good to see you. Quick show notes here again. Tomorrow night, I don't know what. Tomorrow night I won't be on anything other unless I go hang with the great Tom at the Midnight's Edge gang. That and I think Wednesday night I think Loki is planning to do the comic book roundtable. So I'm thinking we will be having that. I do believe. So I hope so. Anyway, and then of course Wednesday night, which is of course November 23rd. It'll be 59 years to the day of the debut of one of the most extraordinary TV franchises, IPs, fandoms, whatever you want to call it, in existence. Debuted. Doctor Who. I'm a big fan of, real deal Doctor Who. Leaving aside for a second. Hello there. Sorry, I thought someone new popped in. Leaving aside for a second the horrors that have been visited upon this wonderful, beloved IP. I love me some Doctor Who. And we're gonna so when there's an anniversary, I like to celebrate the good stuff, the good times, the things we love. So I've decided to rank all 12, and there are only 12. Intro Doctor episodes, basically episodes that introduce the new Doctor. I'm going to go from worst to first, as we like to say. So, what is the rank gonna be? What's the best ones? What's the worst ones? What are they? Who knows? I don't know either. I'm just going to give you my opinion on the way I rank them. But we'll do it in a countdown fashion, of course. I like Clobberin times. Who knows? Maybe next year I'll rank the ending episodes. I'll save that for next year for the 60th. So there you go. Anyway, and so that will be Wednesday night, and of course I will be here Thursday night for the clubhouse. I know it's a busy time for everyone, and some people can't be here. Whatever, it'll be late after all the turkey coma, as Mark likes to call it, turkey comas and all that stuff's going on. But yes, I will be here Thursday night. Hey, Brian Hepburn, good to see you for a big Clobby's Clubhouse Thanksgiving night special. Will it be a special? I don't know. We'll just call it special. What the hell? Yeah. And then, of course, Friday night, I guess I'll hang out with, I hope I'll be hanging out with Nick and the Comic Shop gang. And then Saturday night, Star Trek, folks. Don't forget Saturday night, Star Trek, the season 3 finale of Deep Space Nine. Reviewing the final 2 episodes of season 3. We'll have our typical little crew wrap party. We'll try to get our 2 other crew members to join us if we can. And both Mark and Raquel and I will pick our top 5 and our bottom 5 episodes and rate the season as a whole. Before next week when we move on to season 4. Yeah. So there you go. That's what's going on. That's all the show notes and everything. Well, and of course, again, as I showed at the beginning, we showed the commercial. As well as everyone, Raquel's book is out there now, and she's getting some orders. And anyone who has not yet, please, if you could order her wonderful book, Our Wonderful First Officer. And of course, the link is in my description below, and I've been putting it in the chat. So that's the other order of business. Other than that, now we're done with all the beeswax. Let's see. What's going on? It is comics talk after all. Yeah, look, that for those who were here earlier, I am so glad that I got to have J-Man to hang out with me and bounce this comic around and get another perspective on it. Because you read something like that and you think you're going crazy. You're like, what in the hell? Maybe I'm just missing something. And it was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. And it's just so much fun. Doing these reviews with J-Man is fantastic. Obviously, we do reviews with other people too. The other comics have done other reviews for. But I might, J-Man, if you want, dude, you can be my exclusive Bob Haney partner on the craziness of Bob Haney. But it was so much fun. And yes, I just, man, you don't write one like this and get the reputation that he had. He did this a lot, to varying degrees. Yes, cool. You are now officially my team up, my Bob Haney team up guy. So now Bob Haney wrote other stuff. And so every now and then we will take obviously we can review other stuff as well, J-Man. Don't worry about that, obviously. But every once in a while, I think we might review we might enter the wacky world of Bob Haney. If I had one of those reverb things, I would do it like, the wacky world of Bob Haney. I've thought for years about making a special feature of that. So we will see. Yeah, this is a great book, though. But this book here has a nice article, a good article about him. Bob Haney will return to Clobberin's times, and Clobberin times, and he will be, by the way, he will be treated with respect. Okay, lest you think we are ridiculing the man. We're not. We're just having a good time laughing at. Hey, look, this is when comics were fun. Okay. Comics were supposed to be fun. That's what they were for, folks. And that's what we're gonna treat them as such. I'm sorry, I was trying to find that article again. I was trying to find a certain article. This is a great magazine. Yeah. I mean, a great book. Sorry. 36. Huh? Weird. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So this was just fun. It was what, comics were aimed at kids back then. I'm sorry. And I remember as kids, we didn't like to face it. As kids, or even, especially when you're a young adult that buys comics, you go, no, they're not for kids. They're not. And of course, it is an art form that can be for everyone, and it can be used to tell stories, very mature stories also, and things like that. Absolutely. There's no question about it. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of these comics were aimed at kids. Hey, Retro Blasting, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. When comics were fun. Mike, that's your autobiography right there. That is what I would probably call it there. Michael, I don't know if you know Michael, but this is part 2 Electric Geekaloo tonight. We did a show earlier a couple hours ago. Like J-Man and I did a special where we reviewed one of the wackiest, most insane comics ever made. So I was just trying to stress that J-Man and I were not making fun of Bob Haney. We were making fun of the story. It was unreal. It was insane. It was wackadoodle. But what I was basically trying to say is, and I think there's even a Facebook button. I think that title's been taken from me. Retro, I think there's a Facebook group called When Comics Were Fun. But anyway, yes, I almost want to start a channel with that name, but there's probably somebody who has, and if they have, good for them. But these guys were paid to go in and do a job and sell, superhero comics to kids. And we were the kids. This comic's from 1976. I was 12 years old. Absolutely retro blasting. No question about that one, buddy. I'm with you. And my 12-year-old self, and again, I don't remember reading this back then. I read it years later. I was buying at that time. This is me speculating about myself because I have garbage memory. That's 1976. I was 12 years old. The comics, when I was able to buy them, that I would buy the most. I would buy certain Batman titles. I bought Brave and the Bold sometimes, but I got to admit I wasn't buying a lot of the war titles. So I wasn't buying Sergeant Rock as a regular or anything like that. I was buying superhero stuff. So chances are, if this, and everything competed for my comic book buying quarter. I only had so much to spend. And so I would have to choose. And then, the comic spinner rack being what it was, there was a lot of stuff up there. So if I'd seen, like, for example, I bought Brave and the Bold sometimes. When I would see Brave and the Bold, and let's see Batman and the Flash, I would buy it. Or when it was Batman and Hawkman, or Batman and certain other characters, obviously I probably bought it. So I bought it sporadically. And I bought the regular Batman title a bit, but I was also, had my Marvel books to consider. I had to get Spidey, I had to get Marvel Team Up and Marvel 2-in-1. And just for the team up books alone, I had to get my Fantastic Four and my Legion of Superheroes. Their priorities. My priorities were if I could afford 6 comics, for example, at any given time in 1976, with my comic book spending quarter. And sometimes I would even sacrifice that candy bar, or that or that Slurpee, but not often. I wanted to get that when I could, but yeah, I would do that. But I would if I could only get 6, and there was an FF on the title on there, I'm getting it. If there's a Legion of Superheroes comic, I'm getting it. If there's Spidey, a couple of different Spidey titles, especially Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up. If the Marvel 2-in-1's on there, obviously if there's a Superman title in Action Comics, I'm there. I'm getting it. There's a Justice League, and of course, then it gets there's a Captain America. I mean, it was so many that if I could only get 6, I was in trouble. But that happened, I think, a couple of times. Retro Blasting says, when I was 11, I thought the idea of Batman becoming a human fish was ridiculous. Today, I give anything for comics to go back to that crazy era rather than this crap. Oh yeah, absolutely. I love it. Yes, D-Bud, the Slurpee was. I wanted my Slurpee. So, comics came first. I hear you, and I did. But sometimes I had enough where I could get the comics I needed, and I can get the Slurpee and the superhero cup. See, there's the thing. The Slurpee would be one thing, but I want that superhero cup too. Damn it. And yeah, I wanted to get my Hostess fruit pie because we all know that Hostess fruit pies solve everything. Just look at all the Marvel and DC Comics ads that bear that out. Superheroes use them to fight villains. They're great. Badass, what's up, buddy? Well, it is a classic spinner rack episode in a sense there, Badass, because again, earlier tonight, J-Man and I reviewed this comic. So we reviewed this comic. I would like to think of it out of love. Now, Bob Haney, this is the tip of the iceberg for the wacky world of Bob Haney. We're going to delve into it a little bit. And I've studied bits and pieces of him over the years and read some of his comics, but I'm going to deep dive on it a little because this guy wrote this. Now my mission, J-Man and everyone, my mission now is to find a nuttier Bob Haney story than this. Iron High, good to see you, bud. Absolutely retroblasting a G.I. Joe comic, a knee-high grape, and a whatchamacallit. Yes, I love the whatchamacallits, by the way. Those were great. Am I the only one that thinks of Radar when I think of Grape Knee High? I mean, I like Grape Knee High, but it always makes me think of Radar O'Reilly. But so we're going to start a probably never-ending quest, J-Man, to find a wackier comic by Bob Haney than this one. We're probably not going to succeed, but I've read a few, and I'm going to tell you something. There's some that are pretty crazy. Like I said, you don't get this kind of reputation for nothing. And I showed this earlier. As you all know, I love TwoMorrows publications. I love Back Issue Magazine and all that stuff. And I love this book that I just got called The Team Up Companion. Let's see here. And I was showing this a little bit earlier. This is an article in this great mag. I mean, this great book. Here it is by Michael Urey from TwoMorrows. The Team Up Companion. This is a great book that just came out that I had to have. So I was showing this earlier. And his Team Up indexes all the Team Up comics of the time. Plus, Bob Haney, comics' most outrageous writer. And meet the fan who teamed up with the Man of Steel. I haven't had a chance to dig too deep into this book so far, but what I have has been it's really good. And so, anyway, hey, Maddie's daddy, what's up, buddy? Steve Mitchell, good to see you, bro. So, let's see here. Like I said, that says it all right there. Comics' most outrageous writer. That's what he was. The Batman of Earth B and comics' most outrageous writer. As I opened with my remarks that I opened with earlier today about a review that we did. And if you saw a review, you'll know that J-Man and I were frequently amused by, I hate to say it, but the incompetence of Batman in this story. And that's why he was called. That's why, one of the things I forgot to mention. Well, I mentioned, but I forgot to mention part of it. When I was telling you, J-Man, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths Index put out by IGC or something, some company that was not DC, about a year or two after Crisis came out in the 80s. They were talking about the different Earths. The one that was about the special Earths or so. The there was the section about the Earth B caught my attention way back then when I bought that it was comic book sized mag. It was a mag, but it was comic book sized. The Crisis on Our Infinite Earth Indexes. It talked about Earth B and about Bob Haney and how the DC offices and the guys in the DC offices basically came up with they kept, used to call him Mr. Continuity because he had no regard for continuity. He just wrote whatever the hell. He didn't care what took place. He didn't just didn't give a crap. And that's on the editors though, dude. They allowed it. They had deadlines. They didn't care. They had filler. So they named it Earth B for Bob Haney. They made it up with Earth because, and they're calling him the Batman of Earth B because he's nothing like Batman. Like you said, J-Man, Batman was useless in this one. The shopkeeper Smitty was the hero. Yeah, the guy that brilliant shopkeeper who somehow knew that guy was going to shoot Batman and Batman was too incompetent to dodge the bullet. So he gave him blanks. That guy saved Batman. That's the tip of the iceberg. If anyone who didn't see our review, that's just a little thing that happened. D-Bud, you know what? I haven't got a chance to read it yet. I don't think it includes supervillain team up, but I'll check. I'll make sure. I'll let you know. I haven't got a chance to read it all yet. That's a good question. You would think it would, but I don't know. But it is about, it's the ultimate guide to Silver and Bronze Age team ups. I will, it's a good question, man. I will find out. Because like I said, I've been reading bits and pieces. I have not looked all the way to the back yet, so I haven't cheated yet to look at that. So anyway. But it's a great book, what I've seen so far, and I'm looking forward to reading it all. But I'm not so sure we'll ever find a story quite as wackadoodle as that, even by Bob Haney. That's going to be our quest. That's going to be our mission, J-Man. We shall undertake a noble and holy quest, the J-Man and I. We will strive to find a wackier story than Batman the Brave and the Bold number 124. Now I'm forgetting the title of it. It was so weird. Cam's Crash Courses. What's up? You accept the quest. Good, sir. Good, Sir Knight. I shall knight you in this quest, and we shall go forth, and we will find a crazier, more insane story than this one. But you know what? Don't get your hopes up. Cam says, Clobby, YouTube is screwing you guys. When I go into the subs and live, it shows me up and coming. It shows me upcoming, but not who is live now. Oh man, YouTube screwed my thumbnail earlier too. Like, on the show from earlier, it pissed me off. When J-Man popped into to join me, he heard me yelling and calling YouTube names because it pissed me off so bad. J-Man thought I was calling him names, and he knew I wasn't. I'm just kidding, but yeah. I was yelling at YouTube. God damn it, YouTube. Oh, wait a minute. You're not supposed to say that, right? I wouldn't be surprised if that stream we did earlier, J-Man, gets me in trouble because we had to say certain words. I mean, we were just talking about the comic. Some of those words, though, algorithmic, though. Yeah. Yeah, well, J-Man, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Pat S. Just kidding. Hey, Pat S. What's up, buddy? Luke Skywalker, he says, Luke Skywalker, the major from Dirty Dozen and Lewis from the Revenge of the Nerds were the big red one. Oh, he was talking to somebody else. Okay. Yes, they were. So yeah, the story was wackadoodle. Rock, as I said, I estimate Rock was pushing 70 in this story. And as you point out, Phantom Outsider, it's it has been mentioned. By the way, I thank you for mentioning it because Rock was, was supposedly didn't make it. Like you said, Robert Kanigher says he didn't make it out of World War II. Well, this was not even the first time that Batman and Rock teamed up, and I'm talking about in contemporary times, not that one where he went. There were some where the Earth 2 Batman, went teamed up with him. I mean, I know there was one where Batman. I think it was, and this might have been a Bob Haney issue as well. I think it was a Bob Haney issue where Batman teamed up with the Blackhawks, but I think at least that was said in WW Twosome, if I remember correctly. Don't worry, I'm gonna. Here's the biggest problem, J-Man, finding, just being able to pick one to do. I mean, there's so many. I've got one that was an issue with the Bob Haney wrote of Brave and the Bold with Batman and the Teen Titans that was pretty damn crazy. Oh, Cam says this is new, not just Clobby, many channels. I got you. Thank you. Ironhide says in the 2000 Suicide Squad, they made Rock a member, which makes even less sense than since he'd been in his 90s at that point. I mean, at least they used to try to find excuses to explain why Nick Fury, I mean, the real Marvel Nick Fury was not aging. After a point, they started trying to do that. This story's not, and again, this is not the first time in a Bob Haney story where Batman is incompetent. Yeah. Not the first time though. I'm not sure, Steve. I think it was Fury, but I would have to double check. To be honest with you, I can't really remember. I can't. It's been so long since I've even looked into that, but I think it was Fury. Could be wrong though. It was Rock. Yeah, I needed to double check for a second. Yeah. By a few years, it was Rock because he was in like some of those old war comics. I'm pretty sure it was Rock. Now I'm going to be wrong. I'm saying it's Rock, and now I'm going to get it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Rock. I'd have to double check. By a few years, I believe Rock was in the late 50s or something. Yeah, oh yeah, Fury was definitely years after him. But I've always, it's funny because I guess they're not exactly that similar. At least for later, Nick went on to have other adventures in the Marvel Universe. So they are similar, at least in their WW2 adventures. So now I want to check and find out. I can't really. Somebody will check for me. I know it was Rock by a few years, but I can't remember which comic he appeared in. So I don't know. He didn't have his own title. Wasn't it like Our Army at War or something like that? Or was it Our Army at War or something? Yeah. Oh well. I don't know. Rock's got him by a few years. I just can't remember the exact comic right now. Anyway, so it would have been funny if DC had done with Rock. If they wanted to rip, they usually ripped each other off, Marvel and DC. If they had done with Rock what they did with Fury and have him and create a Shield type organization, let him run it, that'd have been fun. I don't know. I don't know why that would have been funny to me, but yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Cam. I'm sorry. I know that's crazy about YouTube, but it figures. Yeah. So anyway, we'll find some J-Man, if in December you want to do another Bob Haney story, I think I have one in mind. In fact, I may try I may try and find a Christmas Bob Haney story. How about that? I mean, the guy was prolific. I remember he was referred to as, what was it, the ultimate one and done scripter? And, you know, fun fact about Bob Haney. I always forget about this. Did you know, for at least by marriage, by marriage for a short time, he was the uncle of Chevy Chase. Wild, huh? Yeah, so interesting cat. An interesting fellow. Yeah. Oh boy. And no, I only know that from reading the book. Because weird. J-Man says B&B number 115. Adam takes over Batman Corpse. Oh yeah, a Christmas one works. But yeah, that Adam story. Holy crap! That's one. There's a Flash story as well. There's a Teen Titans issue. He wrote the regular Teen Titans series, but he also did a Batman. I mean, see, because of the wonderful cartoon Batman Brave and the Bold. I can't say Brave and the Bold anymore. I always say Batman Brave and the Bold, but it's just out of habit. But yes, either way. But there's a Brave and Bold issue that he did with the Flash, which is straight up bonkers. I mean, it's so crazy. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if he can top this one, but this is, folks, amazing. No, Chevy Chase. He was for a short time a woman he was married to in the in the 60s, made he or something for a short time. Bob Haney was the auntie of Chevy Chase, I guess. So crazy stuff. Interesting cat, old Bob, though. What can you do? And by the way, he worked with Bob Kanigher, so I don't know. Maybe Bob Kanigher didn't care that he did Sergeant Rock with Batman. I mean, I don't know. Oh my God. Show singing Aquaman. I would show it. You can't. I get copyright striked if I did that one there, Pat S. I love that. No man, that's that song. It was called Aquaman's Rousing Song of Heroism. I love it. Oh my God, it was fantastic. I love the cartoon. I did about a year or so ago. I did my top 25 episodes of Batman the Brave and the Bold. Love it. Great stuff. Quite shy. So yeah. But we will Bob Haney deserves to be honored. Although, would he consider it that? I mean, like I said, it was mentioned he passed away in 2004. Would he think that some jackass on a World Wide Web YouTube channel making fun of his work is honoring him? I don't know. We're honoring it because it's fun. I mean, look, we are laughing at it, I guess. That's a strange thing because what was it? As a fan of MST3K, I remember some of the people whose movies those guys made fun of, they didn't like it that he were making fun of their movies. But I'm sorry, the movies deserve to be made fun of. I hear Joe Don Baker didn't like them. MST3K guys, the 3K guys. I mean, I hear Was it? I think Kevin Murphy told the story where he met Kurt Vonnegut or something like that, and Vonnegut, when they told him, who Murphy was or whatever, he said he didn't like it. He thought they were mean to be making fun of people's work or making fun of movies and stuff. I'm like, wow, dude, seriously? You can't make fun of bad movies? And when you think about it, yeah, I understand that people usually don't try to make a bad movie. It's not so much cruelty as they look at it this way. They make these things and expect you to go pay money to watch them. And if you've watched their movie, you've got bitching rights. If you watch them, I mean, so we can make fun of it. I know maybe it's mean, but Jesus Christ, so what? Get over it, man. Oh, now, J-Man, no, I'm sorry, dude. I can't help you there. He says, J-Man says, just don't make fun of Your. We used to make fun of Your. Well, I didn't watch it in the theater. Your, speaking, of course, of folks, the film Your, Hunter from the Future. We used to just call it Your Mama. Said, hey, look, that's Your Mama. And we would laugh at it and not go see it. So we made fun of it back then when it was in the theater by not going to see it. Did MS3 think, did they do Your Hunter from the Future? I can't remember now. Well, that is a good point, Gwagnar. Some of those movies would never have been seen by a wide audience without MST3K. So, yeah, you could blame them in a sense, yeah. You could blame them for spreading the misery. At least they made them funny. Yes. Weird world. In fact, I've experienced that in another instance. I remember back in the 90s, I was at a friend's comic shop who I'd gotten another friend of mine a job there. So I go hang out with him when he was running the shop for a friend of mine. And I would go hang out with him. This is when I wasn't in the business at the time, but I would go hang out there and went there on a Saturday or something at some point. And he was telling me that, oh yeah, that's right. He was telling me that he would have the TV running in the shop, and they were showing an MST3K. And remember Tiger Stripes. Hey, good to see you there. I remember my first MST3K also. He had MST3K running in the shop one day. It was the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. Yep. Good to see you there, Tiger Stripes. Thank you. So he said that he was there, and this lady was there. Oh, not super old, but I guess older than us at the time, middle-aged lady, whatever it was. And she started how much she hated the show, and she hated these guys. He says, why? You don't think it's funny? No, because she was saying basically, I went to see some of these movies, and I feel like they're making fun of me. She took it personally that they were making fun of a friggin' movie. Now, if you don't think it's funny, that's fine, but taking it personally? I mean, did you make the movie? And I guess, maybe you didn't hate it either. Maybe you liked it. Maybe someone liked the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. Maybe somebody thinks that's a great movie. I mean, the world's weird. Brian says modern wackiness is the Scooby-Doo Batman the Brave and the Bold crossover movie from 2018. That was pretty. I thought that was pretty good, Brian. Actually, I liked it. Yes, that's true. That's true. I've heard that about you. J-Man actually did produce the film Your. He directed it and wrote it and everything. Hey, which dope is in that movie again? Is that Reb Brown? Or is that who is that? Who was in Your? Now I can't remember, J-Man. I'm sure everybody knows, but me, I can't really remember. Who was in Your? Dumbass from the future. Your mama, Hunter from the future. Yes, Reb Brown. Thank you. Captain America not. Oh, look, hey, Reb Brown may have had a terrible costume, but he's a better cap than Matt Salinger. I give him that. Yeah. But then again, who wouldn't be, right? God, that movie was terrible. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna make that quest. We're gonna find a more ridiculous comic than the Brave and the Bold number 124. If you weren't here for that review, everyone, man, it was so much fun to be able to have somebody else to bounce this off of, like J-Man, so we could go, man, am I nuts? Am I insane? Or is this comic wacky? Crazy stuff. So, and apparently J-Man's just pissed that Yor got snubbed by the Oscars that year. You're just offended, aren't you? Yes. Don't you have a Facebook group about that, right? There you go. I wonder what would happen if I did a Google search on Bob Haney, like pictures of his comics or anything. See, Bob Haney, not Bob Iger. He's a jerk off. Yeah, there we go. There's Bob. Yeah, let's show some of his comics. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you got to see some of these comics to be believed. This is going to be so much fun. It was pretty bad. We did overanalyze it, didn't we? I'm sorry, man. I needed it for the sanity check, if nothing else. Not that I have much sanity. Yeah. Brian Hepburn says he didn't like it. I think he's probably referring to MST3K because I wanted to watch the movies. Was people like talking in the theater? Yeah, but that's kind of what they were for. I mean, yeah. The first time I saw MST3K, I had just moved to near the New Orleans area from Baton BR. And not too long previous to that, not too long ago or before that. Thank you. I'm an idiot. A friend of mine, we discovered this VHS tape, pre-recorded tape of a movie called Time of the Apes. As Planet of the Apes fan, we thought this looks weird. It was obviously it was a Japanese film, and one of us thought it would be amusing to show it, and used to bring it to my comic shop at the time that I owned. Okay, J-Man, take it easy tonight, buddy. Appreciate you. Take care, my friend. Have a good one. And so we would all sit there and watch Time of the Apes and make fun of it. This is years before we'd ever heard. I mean, it was before. I think MST3K was on cable access up in Minnesota or whatever they were, but we didn't know anything about them. But we would sit there and make, just joke about it and laugh at how bad it was. So we knew the movie. One day after we'd moved, we had Comedy Central on the cable there. And I'm walking through the living room. My then wife is watching something. And I stopped. I said, "Is that Time of the Apes?" She said, "I think it is." And I said, "What the hell's that on for?" And then I started hearing these voices. And then I started realizing, I didn't see the silhouette at the bottom of the screen at first of the Joel and the bots and the theater. I noticed that later, and I started laughing at the things they're saying, like, "Oh, wow." And I just started realizing, wow, this feels like something we would do. It feels like what you do when you watch a shitty movie. You make fun of it. And of course, fell in love with the show. I love it. So, Brian, you can see the movies, I guess, other ways, but yeah, the whole point is the comedy, making fun of a movie that they consider bad. So I got you, but I love it. I know it's not for everyone. Yeah, I know plenty of people in my life, even that I've known that don't like it, that don't get into it. But I loves it. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Oh my goodness. So what else is going out there on with you fine folks tonight? What's up? It is, of course, open comics talk. If there's anything anyone has that you like to talk about comics wise or anything like that, because Wednesday night when I'm on, what's going to be all Doctor Who, wall to wall Doctor Who, ranking the as you all know, the 12 intro episodes, and I'm looking forward to that. We celebrate Doctor Who on the proper day. 59th anniversary. God, I missed the show. I missed being able to look forward to Doctor Who. So, but we'll always have the real deal. The good stuff. We'll always have the good stuff. And we'll always have Bob Haney. He left an indelible mark that we will follow. We will pay respects to him. So, anybody got any questions about comics or anything any topics you want to raise? I was going to make a poll at the beginning of the show, and I just couldn't think of anything. I hate when that happens. Anything you'd like us, any classic you'd like us to review? You name it. And you never know. We might review it because I want to make it, like I say, I want to make it where I review a lot. I want to do, like I said, I'm going to do at least a couple of reviews in December. I might do a review even before that. I think maybe next Monday night I might review a comic on my own. Like for the normal time slot, I might review something. We shall see. Just like a standard one-off issue of something. So, for no particular reason, just because it's fun. Yeah. So anyway, what's going on, guys? Anyone still there? And no comics things you want to ask questions about or whatever? Well, there we go. Hello there, Michelle O'Rourke, Johansson. Good to see you again, my dear. I hope you're doing well. I said, Clobby, one day you should do a review of Amazing Spider-Man 31 through 33. That sounds Ditko to me. That's Nick and the gang, our good buddy Nick and the Friday night gang there reviewed Amazing Spider-Man. Well, they started. I think D-But didn't you guys start at Amazing Fantasy 15, and you reviewed the first 12 or so Ditko issues of Spider-Man? I hear you, Steve. Well, you're too kind. You're too kind, Michelle. That would be an interesting one to review, no question about it there. I think Nick and the guys are going to get around to reviewing more Ditkos and eventually the whole Ditko run they're thinking about. Well, that's cool. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. No, I understand that, Tiger Stripes, and that's no big deal. Not much into the superhero books. What comics are you into though? Like I said, we're all into different stuff. Oh, Amazing Fantasy. Oh, you did Amazing Fantasy 15 through Spider-Man number 1 through 20. You guys got as high as 20? I didn't realize that. Wow, nice. Anyone could tell us. I'd like to know what kind of comics you're into. If you're into different types of comics, Tiger Stripes, I would like to know that. like I said, this is just open talk, like open geek talk, open comics talk, because we did our main thing at earlier, but so I don't really have a topic or anything like that happens. Oh, okay, cool. Talked about continuing by reviewing Amazing Spider-Man 21 through 40. Well, there's all the time in the world to do that. Yeah. So, yep, down the road there. It's so much fun reviewing comics with someone. It's a niche that I really enjoy it. Especially just just an old stuff like that. So it's really cool. Love it. Trying to think. Obviously, I'm gonna review something that's not Christmassy next week, maybe, and then throughout the month of December, I'm gonna review some Christmas comics, and of course, Nick and the Comic Shop Gang, we're all gonna probably review a couple comics, Christmas comics on there as well. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I'll mention to him. Because there have been many Christmas comics. So that's yep. Let's see here. I can't stand it when I can't come up with a good poll question. So that's why I just ask you all to name something there. Now Chris is getting in on it, man. Everybody likes to pick on me. Damn, Chris. With the Wesley stuff. I don't. I'm beginning to think that D-Bud, not D-Bud. So I don't think D-Bud does this. Maybe D-Bud does it too. Maybe D-Bud and Chris and Eric are all the same guy, because they always got to start with they go after me with the Wesley stuff. Yow, damn! What did I do to deserve that? Tiger Star says my comics buying days are behind me. Well, pretty much mine too. But I used to collect Tank Girl, Sandman, and Love and Rockets. And Peter Bag's Hate. And the classics, The Dark Knight and Watchmen. Yes, I've collected, of course, The Dark Knight and Watchmen, and I sold and know many people who loved those titles. Those a lot of respectable stuff there. Tiger Stripes, I hear you. Excellent. Yeah, there were better days of comics. D-Bud, I didn't. I know we've mentioned this before. No, did you? He's asked. D-Bud says, did I ever buy kiddie comics like the Harveys and Dells with cartoon? I didn't. I just has always been like a superhero junkie. Let's see. The only time I strayed away from the superhero genre when I was a kid, occasionally I'd buy an issue of Conan. I bought the John Carter series that Marvel was putting out, some of the Tarzan series Marvel was putting out. And then later, I would buy Star Wars comics, the Marvel Star Wars, title, the Battlestar Galactica title. But for the most part, at the younger age, in the Bronze Age, I was buying the superhero stuff. And then I started to branch out towards when the early 80s came along. So I never did. I got to admit, I apologize, of course, there, D-Bud, but I did kind of, back then as a kid, I did turn my nose up at the Archie comics and the Harvey comics and I just didn't buy them. Nothing, of course, I have nothing against them at all, of course. Michelle asks, Clobby, do you think one of my favorite movie series, Underworld, was based on a comic book? I don't think it was based on a comic. I think they may have done comics later, but I don't remember it being based on a comic, Michelle. But it could. I remember I only saw the first movie in the theater. Good question, actually. A lot of movies were. I don't, now I'm kind of fuzzy on it. That movie's been so long since I've seen that in the theater. I don't think it was based on a comic, but I think it may have been. Maybe it was. That's right. Now you make it. Now I'm questioning. See, I hate my memory. I don't know if it was based on a comic or not. I mean, I want to say yeah, and then I want to say no. I'm flippy floppy, so someone will have to look that up, I guess. Well, there you go. I got Gwagnar to help me out on that one. Because I knew there were comics. I just don't think the movie was based on comics. He says there were comics written about the movie. Okay. But White Wolf sued them for infringing on the Vampire, the Masquerade, and Werewolf, the Apocalypse games. Okay. Gotcha. There you go. Wow. Now Chris Birch is doing it to me, man. Oh, man. He says, you were older when you started buying, so it's understandable. I was only 4, so I bought Bugs Bunny, Hot Stuff. Yeah. And the thing is, I loved Bugs Bunny cartoons. I never really bought the comic. Yeah, I think that's kind of it, D-Bud. I mean, the first time I even saw a comic, you know, I used to see him at the, what was it? A friend of my parents had a barber shop, and we would get taken to the barber shop as kids, and there were stacks of comics there. You know, we were little kids being taken to the barber shop, and I think they had some coverless comics there. And that was when I first started seeing comics. I didn't have any. Tiger says, I think Underworld was based loosely on the LARP game, the Camarilla. Wow. There you go. Chris Brush. Little known fact, Clobby picked up one of the Wesley action figures made for the Big Bang Theory. Did they really do it? You're kidding, right? Did they really do a Wesley action figure for the Big Bang Theory? Makes me dislike the show even more now. Well, there you go. So yes, Ironhide said that he checked online, and of course it's wiki. You never know that maybe was it Underpants? Underwood was Underworld. Sorry, was loosely based on the X-Men villain Selene. I guess it could be, but as far as not adapted though. Some things people will be kind of surprised what was adapted from a comic book that became so much popular that people didn't even know there was a comic because it wasn't a big character. But other ones, I think one of the biggest examples of something that became popular based on a comic that no one had ever heard of was Men in Black. That became huge. They have a couple movies, and and I actually like that in Black animated series that they did. But it was based on a comic. I guess it was a Malibu or a whatever company did it. It was one of the smaller companies, and it's weird because usually it's the other way around. And at least Hellboy was kind of known to some people. When it got a movie, I knew it existed in a comic. Of course, I only knew about Men in Black because I used to go to comic shops all the time. So when they made a movie, I'm like, "That's a movie of that? What the weird?" But I mean, nobody outside of comic book geeks knew much about that. All right, JD Lewis, be good, man. Hey, you take care. Thank you so much for popping in. And if we don't see you before that, happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Chris says, I don't think my 7-Elevener had Bugs Bunny or comics or other comics like that. Then I only looked for Batman, Flash, GL comics when I was really young. Yeah, I got you. Chris says, oh no, I'm completely serious, Clobby. They really did make an action figure for Wesley, and even in its own authentic 80s package. Wow, that's just lovely. Can't wait to never own it. And if I did, I'd have some fun destroying it. What was the first superhero comic you ever bought? Clobberin Times. Mine was Batman 184. I'm amazed that you can remember that. Steve says. Steve says first season of Big Bang Theory was awesome. The second season was okay. By the third, they'd lost their way. And how many seasons? And there, Clobby said fan. Okay. Hey there, Oliver Belamonte. Good to see you. How many thousands of years did that show run? D-Bud, I can't remember my first comic. Like I said, I was talking about this the other night. I think I wanted to say it was like Fantastic Four number 90 something or other, and it wasn't like new bought off the rack either. It was given to me. I mean, it was old already, or not old, but it was bitter. It was out when I got. I mean, that would have been 3 or 4 years old, maybe. But I can't swear to it. I can't remember. I just remember later getting some, getting some comics here and there, getting a look at, but not really being able to get them until I was a little bit older. I can't remember. I know a lot of people can remember their first comic, or this. I know you're talking about superhero comics, but just comics in general. And I wish I could. I hate my memory. Tiger Stripe says Underworld. Wiki claims most of the movies star Kate Beckinsale as the protagonist, Celine, based on the Marvel comics, the same name. Wow, who knew? Could be. Oliver Belamonte. Looks like there were 12 seasons of that. I thought there. Why does it feel like there were 30 seasons of that? It's like Supernatural. It never ended. What was it, like 15 seasons of Supernatural or whatever? I stopped at season 7, and that was too long. So what do I know? God. Waggle. That's crazy. But yeah. What else is based on a... Like, again, I would be willing to bet the stuff like when the movie Tank Girl came out, not many people knew it was based on a comic book. Of course, it wasn't like a big, gigantic commercial success either. What else? But there are a lot of things that was it Road to Perdition. You think anybody knows that's based on a comic? Yeah, obviously I know and you know, but I'm just saying I doubt many people know it. When Hellboy came out, yeah, those of us who were in the in the business or just followed comics, whether you read the comic or not, you knew it was a comic, but it was still, most people don't. They just think of the movies. Apollomies, Benyon, good to see you, my dear. I hope you're doing well tonight. And as always, shout out to the Pepperoni, the official truck dog, the doggy of Clobberin Times. I hope you're doing well, my dear. Good to see you. Let's see. Tiger Stripe says, I really like Supernatural at the start, but it quickly started to loop its plot. Every year just felt like the stories from the year before. Yeah, I think I got kind of burned out around season 5 or 6, but I think I stayed till around 7 and then it's kind of finally tapped out. I think not everyone, but I think most people, obviously not everyone because the thing lasted forever, but I think a lot of people have a tapping out point as well. Tiger Stripes just depends on, I know people that left before I did and a few that left after it. And and obviously there's some people who probably watched the whole thing. Chris Berger said you were reading Concrete and Hellboy. It was a recommendation of your local comic shop. Yeah, I was surprised they never did Concrete. Paul Chadwick's Concrete never got at least an animated or something. Interesting book. Haven't heard about that in a long time. Sean says, I would argue most people who saw Blade in theaters, and even Blade 2 and 3, didn't know it was based on a comic character. That's another one. That's a huge one because it was big. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, they definitely changed his look changed over the years in comics. What few comics he was in, and then of course they messed around with his look even more for the movie. So that is a very good point there, Decepticon. I should have thought of that. Michelle said, uh-oh. Michelle used to get in trouble because of her crush on Dean and Sam Winchester. Well, from what I understand there, Michelle, you weren't alone. That's why the show lasted 15 years. They called them the fangirls. They called them the fangirls, and not me. What's his name? Those two actors called them the fangirls. Not in a derogatory way, but yeah. But the ladies. Thank you, Steve. There's another one, The Mask. Now that was one I read before the movie with Jim Carrey. The Mask. That was a comic book that was completely unfilmable, and I liked it. I thought it was a good comic. It was a Dark Horse book, I believe. It was good, but when I read it, and I found out they were going to do a movie, which came out in like 1994. I was like, "There's no way they can make this into a movie." Comic Blue says, "I found the issue, Cloud. We found what issue would that be? What do you mean?" Oh, mine was Amazing Spider-Man 8. Oh, okay. Is that what you're referring to? I got you. But yes, The Mask comic book. There's no way they could. It would have been. Just couldn't do it. It was too horribly violent. So they did change it. And I understand why they did. The movie was fun, first movie. I heard the second one was horrible. But yeah, there's one. Yeah, The Mask. Now, V for Vendetta is definitely another one. Maddie's Daddy. There's no way that Joe Public didn't know it was a comic book. But by the time the movie was made, it had some notoriety in terms of, but yes, fairly niche, I'd say as well. Yeah, no question about it. Mystery Men, Virus, Whiteout, Barbarella. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go, Gwagnar. Basically, if you were to endeavor to create an encyclopedia of all movies that were adapted from comic books, you wouldn't think so, but it would be pretty thick. If you were just to categorize them, or not categorize them, just write them all down, basically. If you were to do that, a book about them, it would take some time because there are a number of them, more than you'd think, I guess. I'm not saying it would be, bigger than a normal encyclopedia or anything, but it'd be up there. So. Yeah, I mentioned Tank Girl earlier, Maddie's Daddy. Yeah, Tank Girl, of course, taken from a comic. A lot, comic books and comic strips have been adapted, for a long time. For example, a lot of people probably don't know that there was a Brenda Starr movie. Wasn't that Brooke Shields? You all. Again, when I say most people, I know there's nobody here. Plenty of you know about it, that kind of stuff. The obscure ones, yes. Yeah, non-North American comics. I saw Valerian, Gwagnar. Yep, there was Valerian. And I'm just now again, if you kept it, if the rule is you're keeping it to live action, obviously that would change things. But you could have a section for the animated one as well. People probably don't know Morbius is based on the comic, despite the Marvel label, because nobody knows what it's supposed to even be. Ironhide. I did not watch the Morbius movie, but I agree. People who just walked into the theater just to watch something, to be watching something, probably didn't know it was a comic book either. They, I would say at least a good number of them didn't, or most of them. That's why I'm always going, why are you making a movie of that? It's just, Why? What did you make the movie of that for? Seriously. But, what are you going to do? It's Morbin time. Yeah, I did not watch that. I heard it was terrible. Was it terrible? Anyone else here see that movie? I did not. I have no. I mean, I sat. I don't think I sat through all of the second Ghost Rider movie. Anybody watched that? I mean, I've heard it. What I saw was pretty awful looking, but I don't think I sat through all of it. I remember the Brenda Starr movie says she popped out of the comic strip into the real world. She had no belly button because her drawing didn't. That's the only thing I remember. All I remember wasn't Timothy Dalton in that? Wasn't Timothy Dalton in that movie? Comic Relief Crusader said it was meh. There you go. Holy crap. Wagner, are you serious? Was there a movie based on Blueberry by Jean-Giraud Mobius? Are you kidding me? That our buddy, our dear departed Mark C., who the show is based on, and named after, he loved Mobius and he loved the Sergeant Blueberry albums he used to always get. Or Sergeant, I say Lieutenant Blueberry. It's Lieutenant. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Blueberry. Is there a movie? Damn, I did not know that. Based on the works of Mobius. I did. Wow. Okay. Released in 2004. Well, dang it. Yes. Maddie's daddy. That would be Barbed Wire. Pamela Anderson was in a comic-based movie called Barbed Wire. Yeah. The Oliver Almonte says the 1996 Mars Attacks film was a delight. Yeah, that was based on a series of bubblegum cards. I did like that movie. Hey, Cardinal Sim, what's up, dude? Been a while, buddy. Where you been? Good to see you. Thank you for the $10 super sticker. I'm about to see if I can find out what that looks like because I can't see it on. They don't where you can't see it on the StreamYard side. So let me refresh and see how that looks. We'll see what that is because sorry about that. But man, good to see you. Thank you so much. You're too kind, buddy. Appreciate you. And it takes a second for this thing to reload. Come on. There we go. Oh, there you go. Thank you for that. I got to see it. Hey, Dave G. Sound. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. Just driving the 11 western states, says Polly. Wow, you be careful, young lady. Both hands on the wheel, as I always admonish you. Decepticon says there was an obscure comic called Model by Day, which was turned into a shabby TV movie starring Famke Janssen. I remember it shot around Toronto here. Oh, wow. Dang. I wonder if Canada, that reminds me, I wonder if we're ever going to get a Cerebus movie. There was plans. I don't know if we have any Cerebus fans here, but we obviously, I know not live action, but just a Cerebus. I mean, I used to have the Cerebus portfolio was like I don't know how many plates. It was tons and tons of plates. It was sort of like an anime. It was like an animation type cell plate type thing. There was talk of a Cerebus movie. I don't think we'll ever get it. There's also a talk of a Vampirella movie back in the 70s, like for Hammer or whatever. Matthew Pounder, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. See you. What's another one? Based on a comic book that's really obscure. And no, you can't count The Shadow and you can't count Doc Savage. They've had comics because people always jump to those. They've had comics, but they're pulp characters. So I'm just talking strictly comic books, right? And just for sake of this discussion, of course. No, not live action. Chris. I had to see what they did to Howard the Duck. Dave said probably annexed the. No, not live action. Just an animated Cerebus, which won't happen either. It's Cerebus. Cerebus is way past its. I guess you want to say prime, really. There was a Vampirella TV movie though, never saw it. Was there really Decepticon? I didn't know. I mean, I thought it was just some movie that they talked about back in the 70s. I used to see some ads in Famous Monsters for it or some such. But I didn't think they made it or not. If they made it, I don't know. Weird. Okay, that's weird. Huh. Weird. That is weird, wild stuff. Wow. So, what? I was trying to think of some other. Of course, they made a Danger Diabolique. That's Diabolique. That's based on the comic strip Modesty Blaze. That was a movie of that. Obviously, we mentioned earlier. Someone mentioned it. Someone mentioned yesterday. I forgot what we're talking about. Barbarella, of course, was based on a comic. Trying to think. Yeah, but I did not know that there was a Vampirella TV movie there, Decepticon. Weird. Oh boy. Did anyone like that those I mentioned them earlier. Anyone like those Red Brown Captain America movies? Oh, Decepticon. Vampirella starring Talisha Show. I didn't know that they ended up making that. Angus Scrimm is in it and Forey Ackerman cameos in it. I didn't realize that they actually made the thing. I've read about that. I thought they didn't make it. Holy crapple nuts. Now I want to watch it. But that's true. Ironhide, that's a good point. There was a Prince Valiant movie. That was Robert Wagner was in that. I think. But sheet. I didn't realize they actually made the thing there, Sean. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, but anyone, the Red Brown Captain America, there were 2 TV movies. And anybody, man, it's been so long since I've watched those. I know I'm weird. I almost kind of want to watch them again. I was messing around with my Roku. Thank you, Mark D with the C. And I was flipping through the Sling channel or whatever, and I landed on one of these channels that was showing this Trial of the Incredible Hulk movies. You know, those Hulk movies they made after the TV show ended. And I landed on the one with Thor. Odin! Wagner says the Vampirella costume was very good. Gotcha. No, they actually made two Captain America movies with Red Brown, Chris. They made Captain America, then Captain America 2 Electric Boogaloo. Christopher Lee was in the second one, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Believe it or not, Christopher Lee was in one of those. I think it might have been the second. Maybe it was the first. I don't know. But yeah, I love my Roku. Although mine went wonky on me last night while I was watching some Doctor Who, and I had to end up resetting it and fixing it today. They can go wonky if we understand. Oh yeah, need we mention the Power Pack TV pilot? Let's see. Still can't believe they made that cheap thing. With all the MCU success, notice that nobody demands Power Pack be made into a movie. Yes, Decepticon. Why, oh why? You mush-spined rabbit. I'm a particular man. No. But, it's, I don't know, man. That Thor one, the guy playing Thor is fantastic. What's that? Eric? Oh, Eric. What was that dude's name, Steve? Eric Kramer. Eric Kramer, not to be confused with the gentleman of the same name who was the unsuccessful quarterback for the Detroit Lions in the 90s. It was Eric Kramer, the actor. And Dave's D7, you're watching old Doctor Who right now? That's what I've been watching a lot of because I'm doing my Doctor Who show on Wednesday night. What are you watching? What episode? Let us know. So, Eric Kramer was really good. It was just, and I like that there was a Don Blake, that dope playing Don Blake. I'm not too sure about him, but why couldn't it just be just hated the idea. I remember even back then, I hated. It's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I hated that he would call. He'd have to say Odin. He would have to yell Odin, and then they weren't like trained. They didn't change places or whatnot. They just they were there together. If you see what I mean, you all probably remember it. Yes, he played Little John in Men in Tights. So I just thought it was, even back then, thought it was stupid. Whenever you're ready, Mark D. I just thought it was stupid. Welcome to the great Mark D with a C. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, what's up? I have a project I'm trying to finish. I'm taking a break now, so.
Oh, that's cool. Good to see you.
Work break. I was listening, but yeah, and I heard you guys talking about Supernatural. Actually, one of the actors passed away today from recently, from just the past few days, from leukemia.
Which one?
I'm trying to remember.
Not Jim Beaver, huh?
I just read. No, it was girl actress. I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
died of leukemia. She's been fighting leukemia for a bunch of years. It's the actress. And I watched that show a little bit, but never really got into it. But it was fun whenever you put it on. I know people love that.
I like the first 4 seasons, and then after a while, I watched that a habit for a couple of more seasons, and then the 15th time one of them got killed and had to be dragged back out of hell. I was like, all right, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Well, they went to heaven in one of them, and
yeah, a lot of comics we rehash a lot of things too. So it was Nikki Acox, died at age 47 today, actually. Who played Meg Masters? She died last week.
Not Nikki Cox.
47.
Well,
Nikki Acox.
Yeah, not the same one from the. There was just Nikki Cox from the old, the redhead chick from all those.
Yeah, she's not.
Shows.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. She Meg played the first Meg Masters. It says, "Gutted to hear that the great Nikki Acox, our first Meg Masters, passed away too young. She was light and delivered lines like honey and venom. I marveled at how she made a simple word like lackluster legendary. And rest in peace." That's from one of the cast. So yeah. So,
damn.
I mean, that show had a huge, massive.
Had the fangirl following.
Yeah,
I remember years after I'd tapped out of Supernatural, and many a good number of years ago. Hey, Grimdark, good to see you, sir. Good. Flash, my buddy Flash, I think you've met here with me before. He used to do my show on BTR all the time. And I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was, we happened to be talking about Supernatural. We both dumped the show. We'd already both had long since dumped the show.
Yep.
But we were talking about it in the 200th episode, was just coming out that week. And we said, just out of curiosity, we both watched it. Because he was saying, yeah, I dumped that bitch a long time ago. That show got bad. And he liked it we both liked it at first. And we watched that episode 200, I think it was.
Okay.
And it was so stupid. It was like, I think it was, they actually, it was like it was written for the fangirls. And when we said the fangirls, that's what they called them, for the guys that played Dean and Sam and Dean, Jensen Ackles and the other guy. They was Jared Padalecki. Well, anyway.
Yeah. A bunch of good-looking guys.
But they were really good on the show, but they called these girls the fangirls and stuff. So it's not me calling them that, but they were like Tumblr girls. And that 200. I heard they had a Scooby Doo episode. I've never seen that with Tiger Stripes. I always meant to watch it just for the hell of it, but but that 200 episode was some kind of musical that was really stupid. When we watched it, we beat up on it. Jensen always struck me as a guy. He does a good job of voicing Batman in some of those DC animated things, and actually Jason Todd on Under the Red Hood. Always struck me as the kind of guy that had been, shame he just had to play Dean all that time, because he'd have been good at other types of roles and stuff, like, leading roles and things like that.
Yeah.
But Dean was always my favorite character on that show. Dean was the coolest.
Well, sometimes too, you think you don't want to be like David Caruso either, right? You leave a famous
No,
show, and then you think
no.
you're going to hit it big, or
Probably part of why they were staying there because I remember back they did this stupid. I don't look. Full disclosure, I know many of my friends like horror movies and they like Friday the 13th and all this stuff. I hate horror movies anyway, but for some reason, I don't know. I'm flipping channels one night long ago, back when I was still watching the show Supernatural, right? And the remake has Jared Padalecki's in it, I believe. Yeah, Sam Winchester.
okay.
And he's getting chased around by Jason or whatever. And because I at the time was a fan of the show Supernatural, I'm like, I just can't do this, man. He's supposed to be Sam Winchester. I know he's not really. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Man, Sam Winchester ain't afraid no stupid guy in a mask. Sam Winchester's supposed to be a badass, dude. You're gonna turn around, you're gonna stop this guy. Again, kidding, because I know it's not. It's a different character,
Yeah.
but that's what I couldn't help it. I'm seeing him get, be like a punk biatch in this movie, and I'm like, nah, it just doesn't work for me, man. I'm just thinking of Sam the whole time, and Sam could handle that. I mean, Jason, nothing to a Winchester. But it was a good show for a good while, and if people still enjoyed it, God bless them.
Man, it makes people happy.
To quote you,
to quote me, and if you enjoy it, and if it's cheesy or silly, just
Unless I hate it, then I don't. I'm gonna begrudge you. I just don't hate it, so we're fine.
Yeah.
If I start hating it, then you're not allowed to like it. That's just
then you're not allowed to like it. Yeah. I wasn't a big watcher of that show, but I did catch it once. Yeah, once in a while you'd come on. And now, of course, I don't really. The days of flipping through are dead now with all the streaming, which is in some ways, streaming's great, but it's also bad because you would flip through the channels and sometimes a movie would come up. You don't really flip like. You'd be going through and Shawshank Redemption's on, or Blues Brothers, or a Star Trek movie, and just stop.
Right. You can still do that on the Sling. But boy, there are a lot of commercials now.
There's commercials, yeah. So you don't
Holy shit. I mean, a lot, though.
A lot, yeah.
Well, for example, they do things in blocks on the Sling thingy. Because I was sitting there watching, I guess, NFL Network or whatever on there, and
you have to pay for it though, right? You're paying for it, I guess.
It's a subscription thing. I think, I'm using I think my dad's.
But it's a paid service, though. Yeah,
I think it's a paid one. So they got like normal channels on there. They look like normal channels. You can flip them, but everything is in a block. For example, I'm flipping one day, because I had not seen it before. I just started watching it when we hooked it up about a couple months back now. But I'm flipping it, and I land on, I guess it was Buffy was on. I hadn't watched Buffy in years, but I land on Buffy and I start watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Great show. But I land on it, and I was really, man, it's fun seeing this again after all this time. Great show. I should probably go back and binge it. But my point is, that show was like 45 minutes long without commercials. They block these things now at 60-minute blocks, right? So there's a commercial, and it's spaced. So if you sit there and watch any show on there, man, you're going to get, good God, 5 minutes of commercials every 5 minutes.
You can't skip the commercials, yeah.
Can't skip them. You can hold that show. I think you can actually hold the show back then watch it later.
Yeah, but if you're watching it live, you're watching those commercials, yeah.
Yeah. But so it's, it's not like the original Star Trek was over 50 minutes long. So if you're watching that, and if they were showing Star Trek like that, it would mean we're talking about shows that run 43 and 45 minutes or whatever, or 43, whatever it is. That's a lot of freaking commercials spaced out.
The shows are shorter now.
Terrible. Well, that's what I'm saying. So it cuts your rhythm down bad because you're sitting there watching. And man, you start thinking after the 10th or 11th time you start watching, you go, "Oh God, this is going to be a commercial here." It's not just going to be a commercial; it's going to be 8 hours of commercials.
Yeah.
So, first world problems, folks. As they say.
But the shows are definitely a lot shorter, and writers are complaining about that too. They said we can't even tell a decent show too, story because the shows are so short. So they kept shrinking them down. So. You don't have enough time to cover that B plot too. It's so that's a big problem. And of course, when you're streaming, you just fly through it, or you go through. If you own the series on DVD or whatever, there's obviously no commercials. But it's actually fun to pull out one of my old Star Trek tapes and throw it in that I, copied off a TV and see the old cheesy TV commercials. But after a while, that's enough of them too.
I used to chop the commercials, though. I used to pause it.
You used to pause it, yeah.
When you had to, unless you were gone, you couldn't. Yeah.
No, yeah. But the commercials are fun the old commercials are kind of fun to see. But
now, but back then you didn't want to. You just wanted to record Star Trek and cut the freaking commercials. Just watch the show. Tiger Stripe says if you have a Roku, you can watch the Comet broadcast. Yeah, I have watched some of that channel. They still hold the time open for commercials, but there is no commercial.
Huh.
They hold the time. So they hold the time open, but you're saying there's no.
It's like a blank spot.
Because I've watched Comet and I've seen commercials. One thing I've noticed on there though, Tiger, is I would every time it cuts to a commercial, it starts one and then in the first after 4 seconds it jumps in. It cuts that one off, starting another one every time, which is mean. I think they're doing something. It's weird. So they're taking it from whatever broadcast channel and they're chopping their own commercials into it, or they're chopping stuff out. I don't know. Yep. You got to zap. You got to zap those commercials. The Tiger Stripes.
Well, now Netflix is going to have commercials coming up, so you have to pay to not to have commercials. My wife's going to go crazy because she just watches Netflix and she can't figure out how to change the other streaming server.
Hulu's got commercials.
She doesn't know how to switch the Roku around, so she's then that's going to get more money out of you too. And I guess if you're sharing your password, like I've got kids in college, it's like, well, they're going to pay for I got to pay extra for them to watch Netflix now, or I mean, it's the family, or so I wonder. There's a lot of families that are going to.
That's weird
too.
That's weird. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but they're going to charge you.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Yep. Money.
No, I hear you, but this is weird what she's saying in the comment. I guess I've watched it on Fuse. I didn't see the comment ones too much, but I didn't realize that. She says she watched Comet Buffy Monday through Friday, but if you catch Comet the Roku, they show a placard for Comet, but not an actual commercial. I didn't realize. I didn't notice that. Wow,
I've never watched it before. Yeah,
strange. No, I've watched Comet. I just don't remember that now. But maybe there's something different in mine or hers. I don't know.
Yep.
But not sure. Hulu shows these damn commercials. Hey there, Donnie.
Hey, Donnie. Yep.
What's up, Donnie?
Oh, you're doing a nice tribute to Jason David Frank. That's nice. Yep.
He said, hope everyone is still well. Sorry for the delay. I have nearly completed my video tribute to Power Ranger legend Jason David Frank. Donnie, when you get that done, please let us know. We'll plug it for you and we'll tell everybody about it. If I can help in any way, man, just let us know, man. That is a tragedy. It's really horrible that's happened because, you see so many people who were fans talking about what a great guy he was. I don't know how they had great experiences with him, meeting him and stuff. And he says once rendering is complete, I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. Well, when you do, you come in and we'll definitely try to call attention to it as much as we can there, Donnie. And please, I don't have Donnie's channel on me right now. I don't know the link, but if anyone can get that and put it in my chat, please, if you haven't subscribed, then you can feel free. Please go and subscribe to Donnie's channel. He's a friend of our show here, and we want to help him out if we can. So yeah, what else is going on, dude? What a night, huh?
Yep. Very. So
I tried to destroy J-Man's sanity with this.
With that comic, I haven't read it yet.
And, it's.
Did he survive?
At your own risk. He did, but I tell you what, we've decided. We were talking earlier. I don't know about how I'm gonna. We've started. Oh, thank you, D-Bud. Thank you, buddy. We've decided that we are going to embark on a quest, and Javen and I decided this earlier when I started this show tonight.
Kind of like Jason and the Argonauts.
Yes, Jason and the Clobberin are going to start a quest to review, find a Bob Haney story that is wackier than this one.
Challenge is laid down.
Yeah, the challenge is made.
I skimmed through this one because I found it online. I was just flipping through it. The last few pages were just crazy.
Yeah. It's.
Did you show the comic or did you?
Oh yeah, we showed it all. I showed.
You showed the comic.
Read most of it online. I hope we don't get in trouble.
Okay, yeah.
What the hell? Yeah. We read it and showed it and everything. Because you can't just talk about this comic. You have to show people. No one's going to believe you how crazy it is. I mean, again, and if you think it's just me, look at the title of this article in the Team Up companion book that I just bought, like I was showing earlier. Let's see. BB Creator Spotlight, Bob Haney, the Batman of Earth B and comics most outrageous writer.
Yeah, that's great.
Dude,
yeah,
that's why, of course.
Well, that's fun though. Good
stuff.
Yeah.
Handy's Batman of Earth B kept his parents' ashes. Ashes? What? Made a deal with the devil and often teamed up with Earth 2's Wildcat. Yeah, even though he was been like 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like Sergeant Rock's got to be almost 70 in this comic. Yeah.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
Let's see. From Wonder Woman, Batgirl, Catfight, Batman's Heart. Let's see. To Bat Slap from Lovesick Black Canary. Oh yeah, they're all. He always had these chicks in love with Batman too.
Yeah.
And if you read this, we were talking. One of the things that struck us most about the story, for the one we're talking about here, the one we reviewed tonight, is that Batman's completely the Earth B Batman, the Bob Haney Batman is incompetent. Oh yes, he was also Chevy Chase's uncle for a short while by marriage.
Oh my god, that's interesting.
Yeah, guy was. I haven't got to read all this yet, but I'm gonna read it because he was an interesting cat. I mean, the guy he did not care about continuity. He just wrote whatever hell he wanted to write.
Fun, right?
Yeah, he just said, "What the hell, man? Just
who cares about canon?
It's just a funny book. The comics for kids. Grow up if you don't like it." That's basically the way he looked at it. So,
well, people like the comic.
That's true, Matthew. The Super Sons. We're going to do some of those. He created the
old
original
ones.
Super Sons. Hey, Linrod, good to see you. They were bonkers.
Hey, Linrod.
Well,
what do people think of the comic? Did they like it or
who?
Or just so crazy that comic, the one you reviewed. What was the consensus of the consensus?
Well, we were busy doing, so we didn't get to see as much of the chat as we'd like. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else had even read it or not. Anybody read this comic? But I don't know. But there was, for example, just to give you an example of a scene in the comic, Batman is trying to find these. They're called the 1,000. These terrorists. I don't want to say the word exactly. These terrorists.
Not good people.
These not good terrorists people. Yes. And so he goes. For some reason, he's going to gun shops all over Gotham.
Yeah.
And he goes to this gun dealer to ask him, "Do you, have you sold any of these casings to this this ammo?" And he says, "Yes, 1,000 of them." So anyway, he says, "Do you think they'll be coming back?" They might. I don't know. The guy doesn't know. He just says they might come back today because whatever. Anyway, it gives Batman a reason to stand way outside of the shop to watch for him, right? And he sees the guy go into the shop. The guy comes out. And Batman goes to confront him, but Batman is so dumb, he just stands there and the guy shoots Batman.
Oh, no.
Direct, point blank. But Batman, of course, kicks him. And if you're a comic reader, you think, well, Batman just must have just looked like he shot him, but I guess he missed him. Batman says, "I don't understand how he missed me." And then out comes, he would have been, out comes the shop owner. He said, he tells the guy, he didn't miss you, Batman. I thought he might be the guy, so I sold him blanks instead. Batman would have been dead. The guy said, "Thank you." The freaking gun store owner sold. And by the way, and J-Man
might have told him that.
J-Man made another good point. He said, "Wait a minute. The guy shot him with a pistol. These were for rifles. These shells were supposed to be for machine guns." So how did it fit in the pistol? I guess they're one size fits all. I guess I don't know.
Usually not.
No. The drinker says, "Don't know."
Don't know.
This would have been the ultimate review for Critical Drinker to go. Don't know. because this was the ultimate don't know review. Yeah. So. Good night, Chris.
Good night,
Take
Chris.
it easy, buddy.
Take care.
Appreciate you, man.
That's hysterical. Yeah. Well, thankfully, otherwise Batman would have been a goner. So,
well, that's
although he's
probably
bulletproof now, but
and it might be matched only by the scene where Sergeant Rock, who's got to be pushing 70, who's, by the way, as Fandom Outsider reminded me, there were times when Robert Kanigher, the creator of the character, had said that he and neither Rock nor Easy Company even made it out of World War II, but Bob Haney kept putting, this wasn't even the first time he teamed up with Batman. So anyway, oops on that. But so he jumps onto this truck, this army truck, out of nowhere. He just walks out and he sees it. I mean, we don't even know why he's there. And he jumps and he goes and he fights these guys, and one of them hits him on the back of the head with the butt of a rifle. Then they throw him off of a bridge as they're going over an overpass. He lands chest first on the steel of a railroad. I mean, he fell. I mean, a very high overpass that goes over a railroad track, right?
Oh my goodness!
He falls on its face, and then he manages to dodge the train. And we're like, wait a minute, that would have smashed him. But even if it didn't, he says
he'd be dead.
He says my war pin, one of his pins on his chest, stabbed him, that woke him up just in time to be able to move out of the way of the train. I'm like, wait a minute, you would have been dead. I mean, an 80-something-year-old dude, 70. I mean, he landed on his chest first on a railroad track. The steel track part of it, right on his chest.
We're gonna have an 80-year-old Indiana Jones. So
yeah, he's 70. I mean, he's Sergeant Rock and all. It woke him up. He was knocked out, remember? So they threw him off the thing. Yeah. But the fall didn't wake him up. The pin sticking him in the
that woke him up. Yeah.
And those two things aren't the two most wackadoodle. I'm just showing you how incompetent the so-called heroes are.
Yeah. Yeah, because a hero would never let that happen to them, right? I mean,
Batman's a dummy all the way through. But in every Bob Haney Batman story with Batman in it, he's just like a dude. That's why that's probably why the scene where when they both take a squad car somewhere, there's no Batmobile because then later they take a normal helicopter somewhere going. So he doesn't have the Batmobile, he doesn't have the Batcopter. He's not Batman. This is a dude running around telling Commissioner Gordon he's Batman because Batman's busy with the Justice League or doing some other shit. And this guy's like, I'm not Batman. I'm Earth B Batman.
Yep. Well, yeah. So Lenrod's saying how his grandpa's still cutting wood out in the woods and hauling it home every day while in his 80s. So not impossible. Yeah. So I was just
falling off of onto a train track chest first. I don't care if you're 20 years old. He fell off and then it hits you in the chest, falling with your weight. I don't care if you're 20 years old. You're dead.
From a height, too. Not
from a big height. It's like
20 feet or more.
Yeah, I don't know how old you are. If first of all, you're gonna be. I mean, it had to break your damn sternum where he fell. But it's comic book gravity, folks. Good night, Cams. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Cam. Take care.
Appreciate you, sir, and happy Thanksgiving to you. His Titans had all the hip, groovy lingo. Haney was DC's Stan Lee, says Matthew Powder.
Plot armor is the mightiest of armors, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it was plot armor, yes. Well, he's Sergeant Rock. But here's the thing, though. You didn't have to write it like that. You could have had him like at the last second, he grabs onto to something.
Yeah, the hero always comes up with a way, or
how about not get his ass kicked?
Yeah, shoots his batarang out and catches something, and he gets hurt, but it saves him at the last the last second, that kind of thing. Yeah.
But the funniest part is all the stuff with Jim Aparo running around from these terroristas, this terroristas. The one called the 1000, the terroristas. Yeah. I probably said a lot of crap that's going to get that stream in trouble. I mean, not maybe just because I was talking about certain things like this. Well, I was reading from the story, and then guns this and guns that and all this other stuff. So I don't know.
Advertisers don't like that, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Grifter, what's up, dude? Good to see you.
Hey, Grifter.
But our quest is this. We're going to see if we can find wackier stories than this. The Wacky World of Bob Haney is what we're going to call it. And there's an issue of Brave and Bold where he teams up with the Teen Titans that has to be seen to be believed. So that's we might do that one next. Oh, there's a Flash one that's really, really ridiculous. I mean, look, I know we feel. Should I feel guilty that we're making fun of this guy? I mean, I don't know, but
maybe he did this for maybe he did this for a joke too.
No,
he was being serious with this stuff.
Wasn't
like Fred Hembeck destroys the Marvel Universe. He didn't do this tongue in cheek kind of stuff.
No, I just didn't give a crap. I got the deadline done, and they thought it was funny. I guess it is funny. I mean, I can't argue with him there.
Yeah.
And like I was talking about with Jay, I was like, this was 1976. I don't think I read this till many years later. I didn't buy it. I was buying other comics. Like I said, if I know my 1976 self with the limited funds, I mean, my quarters limited. Like I said earlier, I'm buying FF or buying some other stuff. I just didn't buy a lot of war comics. So if it had been Batman and Flash, Batman and Green Lantern, whatever, I probably would have bought it. But chances are I stumped my nose at it and bought something else.
Yeah.
Like a Spider-Man comic or a Legion comic or an FF or whatever, or a Hulk,
But did you remember this comic years later? And he said,
years later. Yeah, I saw it years later, and I always saw the cover, didn't think much of it. And then at some point, a number of years ago, I forget where it was, because I knew about Bob Haney and Earth B and all that stuff, but I don't think I'd read it. And then I read an article about it, someone talking about how wacky it was. It was just in passing, talking about how crazy it was.
Crazy comics or whatever.
So I went and read it,
So it's it's semi-infamous.
You might say it's a bit on the infamous side. But that's, again, I knew a lot about Bob Haney. I read about his comics. I read a lot of his comics. His Super Sons was famous for being really. I mean, the idea is, if you think about it, it's not that like that Tomasi run that you guys like. That makes sense because they really had sons. This is him just making up this world where Batman and Superman have sons that are already like, whatever, they're in their late
10 or
teens.
12 or whatever. Oh, they're late teens. They're much older.
I thought they were like in their late teens, and they had, they had stories together. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, he just wrote it and he didn't give a shit about continuity, which is weird because I guess it was just certain titles, because Maury Boltinoff was the editor of this book. He's in this comic. Whereas there was an editor at DC named E. Nelson Bridwell who was famous for continuity. This guy knew every single bit of trivia, every minutia of
every little
DC
bit
history there ever was. And he was a stickler, man.
Yeah.
Other editors were that. Hey, Trevor Cunningham, good to see you. Other editors were also, Julia Schwartz believed in continuity as well, but on the team-up books, I guess it just said, screw it.
Or they'd forget what was happening in the other books at the time, too, sometimes, yeah.
Because he's not Batman. Batman's busy in his own books. And even on Justice League, Batman did things that, where could he, there's no way he could be everywhere. I'm like you, Clobberin. I was buying superhero comics in the 70s, but my uncle was a big Sergeant Rock and Jonah Hex fan. I became a Jonah Hex fan, though. That was one, I loved him. But again, if the funds came down to Jonah or a Hulk comic, for example, I'll probably end up with the Hulk comic. But I still love Jonah.
Yeah.
And I went back
to
go
for the superhero first. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's an FF and it's a Brave and Bold issue, I'm going with an FF. Because Batman in those Bob Haney stories, like I said, it's funny. So it's
I never read that. Yeah. Now, did Haney write just? Was he just doing one-offs, kind of, or would he write?
Yeah, he did. He never wrote sagas that I know of.
Never wrote sagas. He would just basically a one-off or fill an issue, basically, if they needed something.
Yeah. In fact, they used to call him the ultimate done-in-one scripter.
Okay.
It says Google Bob Haney, and you'll find blogs attacking or mocking zany Haney for his excess or his blunders. His Teen Titans stories are also a snark magnet for the internet armchair critics that rail on the Teen Titans lingo. Daddy-O, yeah, you know Daddy-O. As Haney told interviewer Michael Catron, however, his Titan speak was inspired by his ear for dialogue among the bohemian citizens of, and it's true. The way the Titans talk in his comics, holy crap! Because he wrote Teen Titans, he wrote Aquaman, he wrote a lot of comics.
Yeah, but he would never write like 5 issues in a row. He'd always just flip around. It sounds like.
Ironhide says, he says, it's very sad Nelson Bridwell and Wayne Boring's passing since 1986 marked the end of classic Superman symbolically, in addition to literally. Yes, good point. You were saying?
No, but he never would write like 5 issues of Batman. He just like you were saying, he would just the ultimate one and done. Just so he'd be all over DC too, just stories, all over the place, I guess too. Yeah, just crazy.
Haney's stories failed, however, when consolidated into the broader tapestry of DC's then unfolding continuity. From head-scratching team-ups like Batman and Wildcat to radical departures like Thomas Wayne Jr., these yarns could only be explained away by placing them in another reality. Earth B. The term Earth B was apparently coined by a fan who had become known as an authority on Marvel Comics, Mark Grunwald. Remember him?
Oh, he coined Earth B?
Yep. Wow. Yep. Let's see. In his fanzine Omniverse, Fall 1977, Omniverse #1, Grunwald wrote, Earth B is a realm where the deliberate inconsistencies of maverick writers need to be incorporated into the mainstream mythos. Consignment to Earth B should only be used as a last resort when conventional reinterpretation would have to be used extensively to save a story's verisimilitude. That's what Grunwald said. No DC scribe at the time was more maverick than Buckin' Bronco Bob Haney, and some of the DC editors bandied about the Earth B explanation for Haney non-canonical stories. Chief among them was fan turned pro, Bob Rozakis, an assistant editor and freelance writer for DC during the last few years Haney was writing B&B. I do not recall the first time I referred to Earth B in print, Rozakis pondered in back issue number 66, but admitted to using the term around the office for quite a while. I think it was more likely I used it in print in Answer Man. I remember he used to say it in Answer Man column, which I've had him on my show, by the way, Bob Rozakis, the Answer Man, on my show many years ago on the old show. Anyway, there's a little bit of a snippet there about into the great Bob Haney.
Interesting stuff. Yeah.
It's just cool. Like, man. Yeah, I love it. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's good.
I haven't had a chance to read all this whole article about him. This whole book. The book is great. I'm gonna read that tonight. I'm gonna go and read it because we're gonna deep dive on the great Bob Haney. It's about time that someone did it on YouTube. There's some blogs here and there that make fun of him for years. I've seen them over the years, by the way, the blogs. But it's about time he got some airtime.
Oh, Maddie's daddy's turning into a pumpkin. Hey,
all right, buddy.
Thanksgiving, you should be turning into a turkey.
Oh, you're calling him a turkey?
No, get me in trouble here with Thor. He's gonna smite me.
Thor's gonna
strike me with lightning.
What are you, mush-spined rabbit? He got that.
Or you could turn into a frog, maybe a throg.
Yeah, yeah, a Thor frog. That'll work.
Yeah. Looking at Matt is that. Yep. Happy Thanksgiving. Yep.
There's one I did spare myself because I've seen a lot of comic movies that I shouldn't have watched that are shitty. But Trevor and I think Tiger Stripes were talking about it because I love Jonah Hex so much, and I saw how horrible it looked. They filmed that movie down my way, by the way. I never sat through the Jonah Hex movie, and I never will. If you want to see something cool of a moving picture of sort for Jonah Hex, seek out that Jonah Hex short animated feature. That was on one of the DC animated movies. If you could find that somewhere, you should check that out. That was pretty cool.
Jonah Hex said who that was. Wasn't that Thanos? Josh Brolin and Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
So good casting. Yeah,
I couldn't watch that. Oh man.
Yeah.
I didn't like a lot of the crap they were doing with John Hex in the '90s comics too. I didn't like a lot of that Joe or Lansdale drivel. I liked the when he was just, Jonah Hex. He was a great. He was a Western character, and that was that. Then all of a sudden, Michael Fleischer, and I think, I guess it was him, went nutty during Crisis, and they decided to put him in the future and make him Mad Max.
Yep.
And I bought the Hex comic, the comic Hex with him. They had an issue like there was a future where there was a future Batman. But see, before that though, she's a big Joe Lansdale fan. That's cool. I just did not like his Jonah Hex of the '90s personally, Tiger Stripes, but a lot of people did. So, and he actually did write a good Batman animated series episode with Jonah Hex in it. So, hey, it's okay. So sorry about that. But anyway, nope, nothing personal. But anyway, so the Hex, Jonah Hex, before that Hex series, and there was an issue of All-Star Western or something. No, that was where he first appeared. There was an issue of, maybe it was All-Star Western. I don't know, where they basically found him. They found in the regular time, I think in the 20th century, someone had found him stuffed. In other words, he was dead. He was some kind of Western show or something, like a museum type or whatever, where Jonah Hex's body was stuffed. But
somehow they brought him back to life.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you, Tiger Stripes. Just had to get Joe Lanzo's back. He's a great writer. Yeah, look, I just didn't. What I didn't like was in the '90s when he did that Jonah Hex book that put all the supernatural stuff in it. I hated it personally. But hey, I just wanted to. However, he wasn't the first to mess with Jonah Hex because, like I said, you had that Mad Max one, and but eventually at the end, I guess he ended up back in the Old West.
They brought him back.
Yeah. Remember that episode of Justice League Unlimited that he was on?
No, I don't remember that
Western
one.
Heroes. Well, they had one when they went back in time because some Kronos had taken the time travel thingy, and so Batman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, somebody else. I can't remember who else went. Maybe just the three of them went back in time. And into the Old West, and then remember they met the Western heroes. They had Jonah Hex, they had Scalp Hunter, they had a couple of other ones of the other ones there, Batlash and such. But that Jonah Hex, when they said they were trying to make up some story to cover up the fact that they were from the future, and Jonah Hex, Adam Baldwin doing the voice, said, "I'm guessing you people are from the future." Like, what? He knew it, There's a great scene in that, by the way. Well, that great opening theme of the first two seasons of the Justice League cartoon.
Yep.
Well, they showed all of them dressed as, in Western garb with Jonah Hex, the original Justice Leaguers, and the other Western heroes all walking down the street, and they started playing that Western version of that. That was pretty cool. Anyway, but I can't even call it digression. Everyone, Donnie Pearson has his video up and running, so everyone, please go. You can go check that out. We all will. But that was good stuff. Yeah, Scalp Hunter was on it. Who was it? Batlash, Jonah Hex. Was El Diablo on there? I think maybe. Anyway, yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, but that was a gooder. So, dude.
Well, I was just reading an article about Indiana Jones. We could cover that real quick, and then we can get out of here.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. I mean, it is, even though it's comics talk.
It's a quick.
Indiana Jones has been in a comic book, so I guess we can.
Sort of, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Powell Smith.
Yeah.
Powell Smith. Sorry.
I'll share this real quick.
Not Scalp Hunter. My bad. You're right, Ironhide. Thank you, by the way. I'm old and decrepit and forget stuff.
So I thought this was interesting.
Will be de-aged to fight Yahtzees and in banana fight. Well, you think so?
Yeah, so he's going to be DH. So what it is, they're going to have. Spoiler alert. If this would, if you don't want to hear this.
Good night, Cardinals fan.
Take care, Cardinal.
See you, buddy. Well, spoiler alert, if you care about this movie, I'm going to worry about you, but yeah.
It is a minor. I mean, you're gonna know this anyway, probably from the trailers if you see it.
Right.
But so they're gonna have a scene set in 44, 8 years after Raiders. So de-aging will have Ford going up against Yahtzees in the castle. Old footage of the actor was utilized to help create the illusion of the actor's original jacket from Raiders. De-aging so far is notoriously less than believable, with actors ranging from De Niro in The Irishman to Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, often appearing like stiff Polar Express versions of themselves. No,
right.
Especially in The Irishman, one thing I noticed too was, that he looked younger, but he moved like an old man. And I'm going to move like an old man when I'm moving like an old man now. So
they're going to have a stunt man doing all that shit, right?
I guess, but in some of the scenes, like I remember one scene in Irishman where De Niro was beating up someone, he's kicking a guy, and he looked like a grandpa kicking the guy.
They couldn't find a way to let somebody else do that, and then
I guess he didn't want to. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I mean, basically have a virtual actor, put his
for the
face
opening, yeah, Trevor.
So, but Ford insists the new film, which hasn't revealed its title, successfully pulls off a retro indie. This is the first time I've seen the technology where I believe it, the actor said. It's a little spooky. I don't even think I want to know how it works, but it works. So, I mean, as computer technology advances, I mean, the last time we saw Luke and the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, I mean, that not Baby Yoda, Grogu, that looked pretty damn good, I have to say. So, that, it's just going to keep getting better and better.
I think in that one... At the end of that Mandalorian season that they did, some people said it didn't look as good. They could have looked better. But then later, you talking about when he went on Boba Fett.
The later one looked a lot better.
Looked a little bit better. It looked terrible in Tron Legacy. Good God.
Yeah, it didn't look. But the tech is just going to keep. I mean, think of how,
Well, it was okay in Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess.
I didn't think it looked that bad in Guardians of the Galaxy, but
yeah.
And originally he kept saying it was just makeup that they did; they didn't use any CGI, but that turned out to be BS. Yeah,
right.
But and the fans did a deep fake too that was better. But as the technology progresses, I was talking about the tech from Deep Space Nine, the episode Explorers, where the sail ship was plus blown up on your big screen, and it's still SD. It doesn't look good, but Matty Zaddy knew the animator on that, and that was cutting edge in 92 or 93. So just the way the technology advances. So and Mangold says, I wanted the chance to dive into this full-on George Lucas and Spielberg old picture and give the audience an adrenaline blast, so the audience doesn't experience the change between the 40s and the 60s as an intellectual conceit, but literally experiences the buccaneering spirit of those early days. So I guess the movie's going to take place mostly in 1969. Is Indy going to be driving a Ford Bullet Mustang? That'd be pretty cool. 69 Mustang. Or
it's going to be pretty old at that point.
Yeah, well, Bullet was a 67. I got to correct myself, but yeah, that's a fastback. Yeah. So it's going to arrive 15 years after the Crystal Skull. So, and Mads says Indy 5 is going heavily back to the first and second film and getting that original feel, the original Indy, something dense and epic, and told an anecdote about Ford's stamina. And then we were talking about old guys before. Yeah, Ford's an insanely powerful person, Mickelson says, not just an actor, but physically. I remember the first day we were shooting it. It was a night shoot, and we stopped at 5 a.m. Then he got on his mountain bike and went biking for 50 clicks, 31 miles. Harrison is a monster of a man, a very nice monster. So Indy will be released in theaters on June 30th, 2023. So,
well,
he's a great guy, Harrison Ford. Yeah. So,
is he?
I think he is.
Is he now?
He's a cool guy. Well, I don't know him. I shouldn't say great guy, but he's a cool cat, I think. So, God, he's Indiana Jones. I know. Well, yeah.
Oh, were you done with? I thought you were done with that.
No, yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Are you sure? You sure? Oh.
Yeah.
I unshared my thing mostly. Okay. We'll see. Someone said something. Oh, Tiger Stripe said that I believe those fans who redid the Mando Luke deepfake, actually got jobs, which is why the Boba Fett looks so much better. That could well be the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
I'm hoping
always
they bring old man Kurt
optimistic,
Russell from New Escape from New York story. Just do Unforgiven with Snake Plissken. I mean, I'd rather see that than a stupid remake. But I don't know. Tiger Stripes. I mean, Tiger Stripes. Clobby needs to watch season 1 because Christina Hendricks is in it. Season 1 of what?
Yeah, Mad Men or
pointing out straight to. I don't know what he's referring to. What are you referring to, sir? Because if Christina Hendricks is in it, I mean,
you probably already watched it though. If she's in it, right?
No, not necessarily. I don't watch any. I don't watch new crap. I probably wouldn't even watch this even though she's in it.
If it's old crap, I don't know what it shows.
I still watch new stuff. I mean, occasionally like Cobra Kai,
I've been watching Stargirl. It's been pretty good the new season.
Yeah, isn't it pretty canceled yet or what?
Don't cancel my Stargirl.
I didn't.
Not yet. No,
I couldn't cancel it if I wanted to. Donnie says, everyone. His new YouTube video, Rest in Power, Jason David Frank, is a YouTube search away, and you don't have to be a Power Ranger fan to check it out. Well, we put the everyone. If you can, everyone can put that, or if anyone can put that link back in there for Donnie's channel, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, he was referring to. Okay. Hop and Leonard, TV show based on Joe Lansdale novels. Okay, I think I've heard of those. I got you. Yeah, I thought that's what you're talking about. Yeah. And Donnie loves Cobra Kai and Stargirl. To be honest, it's a shame CW canceled the latter. So they did cancel it. Yeah, I think they canceled.
Canceled?
Oh, so I didn't Donnie, know that. Are you saying Stargirl was canceled? So you're disappointing Mark.
I'm gonna go cry tonight.
Bang! I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I think so. I think I did hear that actually.
Man! Conclude with its third season. Oh,
it figures that they would cancel a show that is, even though I haven't watched it, a show that is well liked, as opposed to the other shows that nobody likes. Why don't you cancel this?
Thanks.
They should cancel the stuff that nobody likes. But no.
It's been so good, yeah. Especially the season's been good. Luke Wilson's great in it. You got Amy Smart. Yeah. Joe McHale's been in it. The Starman.
There's the video. There's a link to the video right there. Thank you, D-Bud. You're the man. Appreciate you so much, bro. There you go.
Yeah, because Jeff Johns
he said
written about us.
He said it's canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading the article now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Donnie, for that bad news for Mark. But
you ruined my week. I'm just kidding.
You ruined a man's week, Donnie. Damn. Dude. No.
Well, I guess with the network changing, they were saying too, with the changing network, with the ownership changes, and I guess you're lucky you got 3 seasons. So Next Star Media Group.
Take what you can get. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, dude.
Also, Flash is ending. Riverdale and Nancy Drew are also going off there. Well, Flash has been on forever, so. And Nancy Drew, I started to watch that. I didn't think that was any good either.
Yeah. I don't like that CW crap, never did, so I didn't watch that. I did watch, obviously I watched Flash for a while until I got sick of it after 2 seasons. I watched Supergirl when it was on CBS and didn't even like it, but stuck the whole season. And soon as Minimus, there's Minimus is here. Soon as second season started on CW, I was out. Then I watched a little bit of that Superman and Lois and just can't really get into it. So I just don't really bother anymore.
Yep.
Rod Thunderheart, what's up, buddy? So what else is going on? What you got? Anything else going on you want to plug or talk about?
Just channel, of course. I got my. I'm trying to do a short a day, so I just posted one on War Machine, and
cool.
Yeah, just I'm going to try to do a planes, trains, and automobiles stream, watch party. Don't count me to it. With family and kids in town, and not sure exactly when, but I'm going to try to figure that out maybe sometime this Thanksgiving week. when I recover from turkey coma. But that's my traditional movie to watch for Thanksgiving. So, and unfortunately, I heard Tom at Midnight's Edge was saying the new 4K, which I was about to pull the trigger on, looks horrible because I guess they did all kind of digital wonkiness on it.
That's a shame.
And he said it looked horrible.
Really?
So I'll just stick with my old version.
Damn it.
Well, plus, it's a comedy anyway, so it's not,
It's not like you need visuals, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, the Blu-ray is fine, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get that. I haven't seen that in a long time. I love it. Tiger Stripe says, Gads, that's above and beyond to watch something you don't even like. Well, I was kind of, I stuck with it. I've done that sometimes because people say, you start watching it got good again. So usually the way I went with something like that is if I'm watching something, I might go a couple of seasons. And then if it just doesn't, if it's, I'm talking about like something that's, ongoing like that. And I finally just, I stopped, but then I learned my lesson and didn't stay as long with it, with some of the other ones. So, but yeah, I guess everybody at some point has maybe watched the show for a while, even though they didn't like it much, but actually I cut out pretty quick. I mean, I can't think of too many times that I continued to watch a show out of habit, no matter, even though I didn't like it. Usually I give it a chance, give it a good while, then I'm done. So with Flash, for example, I didn't even like it. That's one I stuck on way too long. I watched the first season and I was just like, everyone loves it. Because I was, by the way, I was absolutely bullied into watching that. I was cajoled. Oh, you go by my good buddies over when I was on BTR.
Yeah.
And I just, after a while, I just got tired of this. Why? That was one that I did stuck way too long on there. No question about it there, Tiger Stripes. And then after that, after the second season, and a couple episodes into the third season, I stopped. It's just, life's too short. If I can't get within a program right away, I'm out. And I've learned, however, there are some shows I can say, Tiger Stripes, that I start out with, that there are a lot of shows that don't start out. They start out kind of clunky. I think you should give shows a while. Well, not you. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying, I believe in giving a show a good while, and then, but not as long as I did Flash. You should probably maybe like a half season to a season, because there's always going to be people come along and say, yeah, but it got better in the third season. And it's fair enough. Like, look at Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah,
most of the first season's pretty. Most of the first season's pretty weak and awful, with okay stuff barely sprinkled in. Second season, kind of the same deal, good one here and there. Then the third season is traditionally considered by fans to be the best, and yeah, it's and fourth season and fifth has some good stuff. Of course, we just recently reviewed them all, and there's a lot of not good stuff too. But a lot of people will tell you some of these shows that have gone for 5, 6, 7 years that were kind of not as good as first, and went along, got better and better. But that does take a commitment that I can understand why most people don't want to get into. Like if someone were to tell you, hey man, you got to watch fill in the blank show. It's fantastic. Everyone's saying how great it is. But the first 3 seasons, but man, by season 4 and through season 4, like through season 9 or whatever, it's fantastic. Hey, Keely Chow, you're gonna go. Yeah, but that means that I had my buddy, buddy of mine say, well, I don't want to wait that long, so I'm not gonna watch that show.
I'm just starting season 4 then.
Yep, you and I. Some people can do that, but other people feel like they have to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not me. I can start later with some stuff.
Yeah.
So
Smallville was a long series. Yeah, I stopped watching.
Yeah, it lasted a while.
Season 7. But there was some good stuff about it. But yeah, it's hey, if it gives you enjoyment, what the heck, Stargirl's not far from perfect, but it's not woke fest. Thankfully, it's got some interesting characters, and it was actually very patriotic, which surprised me, especially the way the first season ends. And yeah, they do muck around with the JSA, but at least you get to see some of those old characters, and it kind of makes sense to have a next generation. But yeah, it's got some things not perfect, but it's it's a popcorn thing. You enjoy it, and at least it's not preaching to you and banging you over the head with stuff. You just have fun, and you got a guy building a big robot. I mean, Stripes, this huge robot. What's not to love about that? So there's cool stuff and fun stuff and family stuff, and it's got a decent decent message. It doesn't preach to, and some good twists and turns. So yeah, check it out. It's ending, but there's a lot of stuff that's they didn't, at least Stargirl is Stargirl, not like what they did to Namor. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I mean, I want to see it. Be honest with you. So that's
yeah, it's garbage. Yeah,
garbage.
bunch of crap. Well, so that's, you got anything else going on, or you just gonna? I think you already talked about. You got some videos. I mean, you got some shorts.
Yeah, so check out my shorts
Check his
on
shorts.
video.
Oh
Yeah,
boy,
video,
video
on
shorts.
video.
Please
Yeah,
go.
Raquel said that. Raquel said that. Yeah, and yeah, one of these. Now that I'm trying to catch up with work, you keep one project piles on top of another. So hopefully get to that. Deba was asking about the Galactus unboxing, so hopefully get to that.
And let's do that soon. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
do that
game.
soon. So
all right. Well,
it's still in the box. Yep. So yep. Good night, everyone.
Show notes, everybody. Please, of course, if you have not yet, please go to check out our wonderful first officer's new book. Raquel's book is out there now, and very proud of her. And please, if you have not already, here, of course, is the info on that. Not that we won't show the commercial as well, but just put that out there. Let's see here. Also, let's see. Tomorrow I might be on with on the Midnight's Edge crew, I think, but other than that, not doing much. I know you're doing Toxic Tuesday tomorrow night, aren't you?
Toxic Tuesday. Yep. Another Bond
on my great buddy Nick's channel, Goldfinger, on Toxic Tuesday on our great friend Nick Weiser's channel. And then let's see here. Wednesday night, I think Loki and I are going to be doing the comic book roundtable. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then at 9 here right here on Clobberin Times, celebrating the 59th anniversary of Doctor Who. I will be ranking the 12, and I do mean 12 intro Doctor episodes. In other words, the first episode of each Doctor, the episode that introduces us to a new Doctor, basically. I'm going to rank them all in order from worst to first. And I'm looking forward to that. Thursday, of course, we'll have the Clubhouse with I know Raquel. Pretty sure Raquel will be here. Mark will have to see if he's conscious. See if he's not. As he calls the turkey coma. I won't have enough turkey to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I hope I get some turkey. Anyway, and then Friday night, hopefully, I'll be hanging out on my buddy Nick's channel in the comic shop. And then Saturday night, Star Trek. Season finale of Deep Space Nine Season 3. We will have hopefully a crew wrap party, and we will rank the season, and of course put our top 5 best and top 5 bottom 5 worst episodes. So I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Again, big shout out to the great J-Man for hanging out with me tonight. I had a fantastic time with him reviewing Brave and the Bold number 124 earlier tonight. A lot of fun. It was fantastic. So we'll be doing another Bob Haney comic soon. Welcome to the wacky world of Bob Haney. And can't wait. And of course, I want to thank the great Eric K, our fantastic wrenchers, Eric K, the Vindicator wrench of the North, Chris Persian, D. Bud Martin, the great wrench of iron. Thank you, buddy. And shout out to the pupper, of course, for Apollo Minion. And all of you, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. Hope this will start your week off well, and have a fantastic Thanksgiving week. But we'll be back to say Happy Thanksgiving a lot, of course. So good night, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your evening and wonderful tomorrow.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's clobbering time.